Hello, my lovely geographers. Here is week 5 in geography, and it's all about the weather and the seasons. And it is the perfect opportunity for us to talk about it as we have just starting to come out of the winter season and starting to approach the spring season. So, if you haven't been noticing, and when you've been walking around on your daily walks, lots of signs of spring popping up here and there. There's buds growing, the little daffodils are starting to peek out, and even though it's quite cold and nippy at the moment and really rainy and windy, as at least it was last night, it's still important to talk about the signs of spring and the signs of seasons changing again. So let's have a look at what we're going to be learning this week. So, first of all, we need to be thinking about, are the seasons and weather a human feature or the physical feature? So think back a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the landmarks that were human or physical feature, and there was a video done about the human and physical features and what these are. Think back to that and then have a chat amongst yourselves, either you're grown up or your sibling. What do you reckon? Is weather outside, a human feature or a physical feature? Is it something that people are creating, or is it something that is happening naturally? So have a little chat and pause the video here for that opportunity, and then come back to me. All right. So welcome back. And here is our little seasons diagram here. So as you can see that the seasons are changing in a cyclical, this is like a big cycle. So basically it's changing from winter to spring, from spring to summer, from summer to autumn, and then changing back to winter again, and it repeats itself every year. So it's every year is the same sort of cycle. All right. So have a little think. What sort of season are we in at the moment? And if you remember at the beginning, I was saying the seasons are just about to change, so we're right somewhere between here, so like the changeover from winter but not quite spring yet. So let's have a look, what else are we doing this week? So I have added this section here for you for your blended learning, and have a little go at drawing out things that might be happening during this season. So in springtime, perhaps you may want to draw flowers starting to grow. So here's going to be my beautiful drawing here, like as the buds are coming out of the earth and they're starting to grow, and I'm going to try and be really accurate and make it green as well, because they're like the first signs of daffodil. It's always really cheerful moment for me, because I can just see summer is coming, spring is coming, the sun is coming out again. Yeah, and I'm going to be adding a daffodil here. It's really hard to see. Oh goodness, it's hard to see with the yellow, isn't it, on the yellow? So if I just do like that, my artistic skills are obviously not as good as yours, but you should see that's a daffodil. Okay, so then we come into the summer, so we know that the sun is shining nice and bright. Most of the times anyways. In the UK perhaps not as much as in other countries, but it's still, we're going to have a opportunity to go and spend some time at the seaside. So I'm going to be drawing the waves here, I'm on the beach and enjoying all sorts of nice summer activities. In the autumn perhaps you could be drawing a tree as it's starting to lose its leaves. So here is my attempt for a nice tree and nice branches. It's really tricky to do it with a computer, but you'll get the drift. And I can then add the colours of the leaves on the ground. So we've got maybe a maple tree, or perhaps an oak tree, and they just all lose the leaves in the autumn time. And in the winter perhaps you might want to, obviously not so much down south, but if you're lucky more towards the north of the UK, you might get some snow in the winter. It's really cold. So I'm going to draw a snowman, and hopefully we don't get snow anymore now. That's it now with the winter, but maybe next year we'll get lucky and we'll get a bit of snow down south as well here. So the snowman is holding a branch and a stick man perhaps. It's a bit tricky, but your pictures are obviously going to be much more precise, and the presentation is going to be super neat, I'm sure of it. So let's have a look on what we're going to do after this. Then I have added you a sheet where you need to match the weather symbol, which is down here. So if I highlight the sign here, so these are the weather symbols that I have added onto your home learning. and you need to match the pictures on here. So there's a picture here. You need to match these pictures with the weather symbols. You look carefully and see which one this could be. So I'm having a look. So it's not a stormy weather for sure. It's not sunshine and showers because it's not raining on this picture. It's not very windy. The trees are not moving. It's not raining. It's not raining on the picture. It's not foggy either. So I think the only one this could be is cold. So you would paste the picture of the cold here and then tell me which season you might see that this sort of a symbol. So I think this looks like winter to me, and I know for a fact that I'm always cold in the winter, so I could write I think this is a snowy day and I can see snow in the winter. Oh, I made a marvellous mistake. Winter, full stop. Okay, so that's the sort of thing I would like you to write here. So basically match the image with the season and the weather symbol. All right, so that's the sort of stuff you need to be doing in this task. After that, have a look at some weather forecasts. So whether you put the news on and see what the weather forecast is telling us for today, and then choose one of those symbols that we saw on this image. So these ones down here, stormy, sunshine, and so on. And if you could, create your own weather forecast. So when you are doing your own weather forecast, I want you to use quite accurate weather vocabulary. So when you're listening to that weather forecast on the television or you're Googling it, note what sorts of language are they using when they're giving out the forecast. So for example, they could be talking about the highest and lowest temperatures. Perhaps they could be talking about the wind conditions. Is it really windy? Is it not? What sorts of changes there are going to be throughout the day? Could it be sunny at the beginning and then perhaps rainy in the afternoon? So have a little look at that and then create your videos. And I can't wait to see them. I'm sure they're going to be amazing. So send us those all on an email. And if you don't fancy doing any of this and it's really rainy outside, there is an opportunity for you to do a rain measuring system, so rain gauge. So there is a information sheet for you on the blended learning. So you may want to do all of the geography and then make those things, or you could just make one or the other. It's up to you and your family. But by the end of this session, you would have learned to identify seasonal weather patterns in the UK, and you would be able to use appropriate terminology when you're talking about weather. So have lots of fun. Come back to this video if you get confused, or send us an email with a question and we will come back to you. Happy geographing, happy weather forecasting, happy talking about the seasons, and have lots of fun outside this week. Bye.